Captain Maria Santos stood on the bridge of the UES Indomitable, her weathered hands gripping the rail as she watched the tactical display with growing unease. 300 Zephyrian vessels had materialized from hyperspace merely an hour ago, forming a perfect sphere around Earth's most advanced battleship. The enemy fleet hung in the void like a constellation of death, their bioluminescent hulls pulsing with an ominous blue light. "Status report," Santos commanded, her voice steady despite the circumstances. Lieutenant Commander Hayes turned from his console, sweat beading on his forehead. "All systems operational, Captain. The Zephyrians are maintaining position at exactly 50,000 kilometers. They haven't moved so much as a meter since arrival." Santos nodded grimly. The Zephyrian collective had been humanity's greatest threat for over a decade. Their ships were technological marvels, organic constructs that could regenerate damage and adapt to human weapons in real time. No human vessel had ever survived an encounter with more than 3 Zephyrian ships. 300 was unprecedented. "Communications?" she asked. "Still broadcasting on all frequencies, Captain. No response." The bridge fell silent except for the low hum of the ship's systems. Santos had commanded the Indomitable for 7 years, leading it through countless skirmishes against the collective. She'd earned her reputation as humanity's most capable captain, but this situation defied all tactical logic. Why surround them without attacking? What were the Zephyrians waiting for? "Captain," came a voice from behind her. Dr. Elena Vasquez, the ship's xenobiologist, approached with a tablet in hand. "I've been analyzing their formation pattern. There's something you need to see." Santos accepted the tablet, studying the 3-dimensional holographic display. The Zephyrian ships weren't arranged randomly. They formed a complex geometric pattern, like the facets of a massive crystal surrounding the Indomitable. "It's a harvesting formation," Dr. Vasquez explained, her voice barely above a whisper. "We've seen similar patterns when they strip mine asteroids. They're treating us like a resource to be extracted." A chill ran down Santos's spine. "Extracted how?" "Unknown. But Captain, there's more. I've been monitoring their biosignatures. The ships aren't just surrounding us. They're synchronized. Their life signs are pulsing in perfect harmony, as if they're components of a single organism." Before Santos could respond, the ship's AI, Artemis, spoke in its calm synthetic voice. "Captain, detecting massive energy buildup across all enemy vessels. Configuration suggests preparation for simultaneous discharge." "All hands, battle stations," Santos barked. "Shields to maximum, charge all weapons." The bridge erupted into controlled chaos as her crew prepared for the inevitable. Through the viewports, the Zephyrian ships began to glow brighter, their bioluminescent patterns shifting from blue to white-hot intensity. "Captain," Hayes called out, his voice tight with tension, "energy readings are off the charts. Whatever they're planning, it's beyond anything we've encountered." Santos gritted her teeth. 300 ships. Even if the Indomitable could take down dozens of them, the mathematics were brutal. But she'd be damned if she'd go down without a fight. "Target the nearest cluster," she ordered. "Fire everything we've got." The Indomitable's weapons unleashed hell. Plasma cannons, railguns, and antimatter torpedoes streaked across space, toward the Zephyrian formation. The first salvo struck home and several enemy ships erupted in brilliant explosions. But something impossible happened. As each Zephyrian ship exploded, its neighbors didn't scatter or retaliate. Instead, they simply disappeared. Not destroyed, not retreating. They vanished completely, as if they had never existed at all. "What the hell?" Hayes stared at his console in disbelief. "Captain, I'm reading massive spatial distortions where the ships were." Santos watched in stunned silence as her weapons continued to find their marks. With each Zephyrian vessel destroyed, more of the surrounding fleet winked out of existence. The perfect sphere began to collapse inward, shrinking as ship after ship vanished without a trace. "Artemis, explain what we're seeing," she demanded. "Analysis in progress, Captain. Hypothesis. The Zephyrian vessels were quantum entangled. Destruction of individual units causes cascade failure throughout the network." Dr. Vasquez looked up from her readings, her face pale. "Captain, they weren't separate ships at all. They were extensions of a single entity, a collective consciousness spread across multiple bodies. When we damaged part of it, the entire organism couldn't maintain cohesion. Within minutes, the last of the Zephyrian fleet had vanished. Space around the Indomitable was empty again, as if the massive enemy formation had been nothing more than a mirage. "Damage report," Santos called out, still unable to believe what she'd witnessed. "Minimal damage to outer hull plating," Hayes replied, his voice filled with amazement. "All systems nominal." Santos stared at the empty space where 300 enemy vessels had hung just moments before. Humanity had stumbled upon something extraordinary, a weakness in the Zephyrian collective that could change the entire war. "Dr. Vasquez, I want a full report on everything we observed. Artemis, compile all sensor data and prepare it for immediate transmission to Fleet Command." "Aye, Captain," both responded. As the Indomitable set course for Earth, Santos couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter had been more than a battle. It had been a revelation. The Zephyrians' greatest strength, their collective consciousness, had become their ultimate vulnerability. Humanity had just learned that sometimes the most terrifying enemies carried within them the seeds of their own destruction. The war was far from over, but for the first time in a decade, Captain Maria Santos allowed herself to hope.